Oh, sorry. Hi. I'm sitting here humming my theme song to myself. I have to get another musical talent in here. Hello. Today was quite a day. Today, Muhammad Ali was laid to rest. A lot of people are going to do, uh, eulogies and whatnot for him. And I'm not going to be redundant. I'm just going to say, within my lifetime, I don't expect there to ever be his equal. Well, today I saw the Warcraft movie, and I have to admit, it did not suck. I'm surprised. I mean, I saw some reviews. The movie premiered internationally 2 weeks ago, but it only premiered in North America yesterday. And there were people who were giving it 1 star, 0 stars. I mean, really bad reviews, talking about a waste of time, incoherent plot, all kinds of other stuff. I can safely say that's all baloney. And my suspicion is that these are people who are just angry at Blizzard. In fact, you can count me among them. I hate Blizzard. I hate them with a passion. Mostly because of the, deceptive things, what I consider deceptive, that they've done and hoodwinked me out of a lot of money. And I really don't like them. But I can honestly say that the movie was an okay movie. This is not Lord of the Rings quality. And it's strange because they spent $170 million on the movie, but when you watch it, you'll be thinking to yourself, this movie does not look like it cost $170 million. The sets are nice. There's a few actors and actresses in it. The environments look great. The spell effects look great. What doesn't look great are the orcs. The orcs look like cartoon characters, and they never look real standing next to a live-action actor or actress, and I don't know what happened there. Industrial Light and Magic worked on this movie. They did the Star Wars movies, and I mean, Jar Jar Binks was one of the characters most hated in all of cinematic history, but at least he looked real standing next to a human, and that was years ago. ILM should have been able to pull this off with no problem. I have to believe that they were underfunded. That for whatever reason somebody took a lot of money in this movie and jammed it into a little pot for themselves, because I don't believe that they gave that much money to the actors and actresses. There weren't that many costumes and sets unless somebody overpaid like crazy for them, and it definitely wasn't spent on the special effects. In fact, if you're an investor in this movie in any way, I would ask about getting a forensic accountant to look over the records for the production of this film. Yeah, it's that bad. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad film. It's just for $170 million, it should have looked way better than it did. I mean, I've seen cheaper movies that look fantabulous. This really looked like it should have gone direct to video. Oh well. So, good question there. But no spoilers. But yeah, but there a couple head scratching moments. Basically, the movie is mostly set in Warcraft 1, the RTS game, but they pull in some elements from the World of Warcraft, and that's probably because Blizzard is hoping that some people will go to the movie and say, "Wow, I want to go play the World of Warcraft. That looks like fun." And they ran ads for Legion at the beginning, right before the movie started. And so there are things that take place in the World of Warcraft that, change over time, and so rather than showing them where they would have been in the original Warcraft, they put them in their locations where they would be in the World of Warcraft. Oh well, so that they wouldn't have to explain to someone who comes in and is like, hey, it doesn't look like it looked in the movie. So that's a bit of a cop-out. And there are a couple other weird things. There's one character with the orcs that comes through and somehow learns perfect English in a day. I mean, it makes no sense. I'll just chalk that up to another episode of Plot Convenience Playhouse Presents, just to help the story along. It helps that character can communicate. So somehow that character has a photographic memory and learns English perfectly the first time they hear it. I don't know. It seemed kind of silly to me. And they rearranged some of the characters. They took a few convenient, or I should say, liberties with them. So you'll recognize everything if you're a World of Warcraft fan. But if you're just a general fantasy person, you might be a little lost because they don't bother to explain a lot of things. They just kind of throw them at you. Here's Goldshire, here's Stormwind, here's this place, here's that place, and you're like, so? If you're not a Warcraft fan, you're like, okay, so what? Wow, these people really get around. But if you're the WoW fan, or the RTS or the MMORPG fan, you're like, hey, I know all these places. This is great. So, yeah, it's all fun if you happen to be a WoW fan. But like I said, I don't think by any stretch of the imagination, even though I hate Blizzard, it didn't deserve a 1 or a 0. Like it's about a 3.5 out of 5. The story is okay. It's very simplified. It's not very, you can take kids to see this. There is fighting and action, but the gore is implied rather than in your face. It's not like some of these movies where it's like, here, let's decapitate people, and you can see all the tendons and blood spurting everywhere, and this isn't like Fist of the North Star or something like that. So. This is okay for kids. It's pretty obvious it was meant for all audience ranges. So, my guess is that people are projecting their anger at Blizzard onto the movie, and that's probably why it's getting the 1 and the 0 stars. It has nothing to do with the actual film itself. The film deviates a little bit from the plots of the games, and that's probably due to time constraints. I mean, it's a 2-hour movie. You got to jam a lot of stuff in there, or is it 2.5 hours? I don't know. Some people said they thought the movie was too long, but to be honest, I didn't have any problems with it. It seemed to flow okay. It was all right. The goal of movies is to be entertaining. It was entertaining. I enjoyed it. There were a couple of, like I said, head-scratching moments. There's one where a character, points to a griffin and says, that's my bird. I'm like, what bird? It's a griffin. What the hell? But I don't know how that got past it. I mean, just have one WoW player consult on the movie, please. Things don't look perfectly, but it's okay. It's all right. It's not a bad film. If you're a WoW fan of any degree, you will be entertained. And they did leave it open for lots of sequels. It was very obvious that they were intentionally setting up that way, so there's things that are unresolved at the end, and they want it to be a franchise that continues. The bad news is, like I said, only 20 people showed up to the theater. So, I mean, this is the second night it's been out. Those negative reviews on social media are really hurting the movie. So for the Chinese market, on the other hand, is probably going to carry this film because it's made over 70 million in China at the time of this recording. It looks like the overseas market is going to be the place to be because I have a feeling that it's probably going to be largely rejected and ignored in North America. And like I said, I really think a lot of the negativity is just people mad at Blizzard, I feel hoodwinked by Blizzard for a few different reasons. Warlords of Draenor, kind of a ripoff. The annual pass that was supposed to give you guaranteed access to the beta the moment it went live for the Mists of Pandaria, definitely a ripoff. On and on and on. Trying to ask for if I could please have the game time that I paid for, and then finding my account locked out with a permanent ban with no just for that. It's like, can I please have what I paid for? Boom, no warning, permanent ban. Stuff like that makes people mad. And I thought, gosh, is it just me? No, there's a lot of people that have had that kind of attitude from Blizzard. They've been very arrogant. They've mistreated their customers over the years. So now they go out there, please love my movie, and people took the opportunity and they kicked it in the teeth hard. So thank yourself, Blizzard. Your customer service over the years made you enemies. And they go on social media and they write ugly things about your stuff. I'm not one of them. Well, I am one of your enemies. I don't like you. And I don't want to give you any more money. But I'm not going to write falsehoods on social media about your film. I actually wanted to go in there and be angry and say, yeah, it really did suck. But it doesn't. It's a okay movie. And that's coming from an enemy of Blizzard. So, if you're a fan of Warcraft and you're not angry at Blizzard like I am, you're gonna love it. So don't listen to the haters. The movie's okay. You're not gonna be blown away by it. And like I said, if you're not a Warcraft fan, you may be trying to figure out what's going on. But the basic plot is there. It's going to be what you expected. There's a lot of fan service. So, like I said, great movie for the fans. Yeah, everybody else, it'll be okay. It's just a shame. I mean, I think the movie could have been better. Like, somebody had to have been taking money and diverting it from something. Because, like I said, if it gone to the more development had gone to the orcs and they looked realistic, ILM can do it. But they have to be given what they ask for. And I'll bet you anything that it'll come out that, well, we couldn't give ILM the money because of, fill in the blank reason. And like I said, I don't know where that money went. $170 million? You're not going to see that on the screen. Now, there are scenes, huge battle scenes, where you hear thousands of voices. And I'm wondering, wow, did they pay a whole lot of extras? Is that where the money went? But at the end of the movie, there's a little credit that says, special thanks to all the BlizzCon 2014 attendees that chanted and were recorded and used for this movie. So while they had all the people at BlizzCon, they probably said, hey, let's chant together, Loktor Ogar! And so you're listening to BlizzCon attendees, and BlizzCon's typically like 50,000 people. So it sounds pretty grand, but they didn't pay those people. Those people paid to be there, and they paid a lot. BlizzCon is not cheap. And every year they raise the ticket prices for, I don't know, for reasons. Blizzard loves money. It used to be that, and Blizzard will even talk about this in some of their early interviews, where they were gamers making games for other gamers that they themselves would like to play. And they lost their way along the years and became really corporate, and became about how to milk their IPs rather than make stuff that people were really going to enjoy. And there's a lot of bitterness. And I think that's what the poor Warcraft movie got slapped around by, is probably people angry. I mean, you think about it, Blizzard advertises that over 100 million people played Warcraft, but they're too ashamed to tell you what their subscription numbers are now. We know that they're sub 5 million. So that means there are 95 million people who have quit the World of Warcraft. How many of them you think are angry for something that they perceive as improper? Like I said, I just mentioned a couple of reasons I don't like Blizzard, and mine had, financial values, a year of WoW and then not getting what they promised, selling me an expensive expansion, then it had no content, and that's just a few things. So think about millions upon millions of potentially angry, even if it was just 1 million players out of that 95, if just 1 million of them were angry at you, then you end up with these social media things where everybody is slamming your movie even though they haven't seen it. And so I end up sitting in a theater that's empty with 20 other. I mean, the theater I was in had a capacity of 500, and there was 20 people there. I'll chalk that up to Blizzard's customer service, making enemies. Because I don't think there was anything in the movie that warranted, like I said, the reviews that it's been getting. It just doesn't. It's an okay movie. It's not fantastic, but it's not garbage, as people are claiming. Although, it looks like it probably should have gone direct to video. I don't know where that money went. It didn't go to the movie. Oh well. Let me know if you see the Warcraft movie and what you think. I'd be interested to hear.